From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, it's LaVicka, Theo, and Stone on ESPN 106.3.
Keiser University football, the defending NCAA national champions. That was a game, by the way, you heard here on ESPN 106.3. Man, who was on the sideline of that game. And by the way, they've been in the national championship game back-to-back years. Able to get the trophy this past year is a man who was running backs coach, and now he's been elevated to the second head coach in program history, the coach of the defending national champion Keiser Seahawks, Myles Russ, with us here on ESPN 106.3. LaVicka, Theo, and Stone. Coach, thanks for coming by. This is going to be your official introduction now as head coach. This is what we're deeming it now. And when I say head coach of the defending national champions, how does that feel? How does that feel?
Good.
Yeah.
It feels good. But at the end of the day, still some work to be done.
Yeah.
That was last year, and that's what kind of mentality I want to bring to the table. But it definitely still feels good, I'll tell you that.
I want to ask you, and we're going to go wide ranging here. We're just we're gonna get you used to this now. So the previous head coach Doug Socha leaves for Division II Lenior-Ryhne. What's the timeline from that to then you and hey, coach, you want to run this program? How does that timeline work?
It was kind of crazy because he's been getting all kind of calls. I give a lot of credit to our administration of just kind of trying to figure that thing out as things were kind of transpiring through that whole deal. But it happened quick. And it was one of those things. I met with our AD, Kris Swogger, and kind of showed him my plan and my vision of how we want to do things if this thing ended up happening, which it did. And so when he did make the decision, it was good that they gave me a call to be the next guy, and they knew how I wanted it to be done. And one thing I wanted to make sure they knew, I'm still going to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Socha is my mentor. That's my guy. I've been under him for 7 years, but at the end of the day, we're totally different people, whatever it may be. So I wanted to be myself and have what I want to do things, how I want to do it. And they was good with it. So that was a good thing about it.
So I got to ask then, for the people that are going to be out there still supporting those Keiser Seahawks that are always a fun Saturday show, who is Coach Russ? We know you as the assistant head coach. We know you as, the running backs coach. And, of course, the strength of that Keiser football team the past few years,
no doubt,
really from the start of the program, has been the running back room. Who is Coach Russ? Where are you from, man? What's the background?
Hey, so I'm from Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah.
I went to West Boca High School. I might not look like it, but I played the running back position. It was kind of crazy, out of high school, didn't really have too much anything. And I was player of the year coming out of high school from West Boca, wanting to go to the FAUs, the FIUs. And, I understand now, with my size and a lot of things to do with it, that didn't happen. But went to Robert Morris University.
Yeah.
Had a career there, was an all-time leading Russian there. Hall of Famer there. So when I got the opportunity to coach and wasn't able to make it to the NFL, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to still find a way to impact lives and still be part of this, football world. So I did that, started with Joe Walton, who was my head coach, transitioned to John Banaszak, who all those guys have, big football history. Joe Walton was a head coach with the Jets. John Banaszak was with the Steel Curtain, so I know the history of the game. And then being able to kind of go through the process, recruiting, I brought a lot of Florida boys up to Robert Morris and came back and was able to start this program with Coach Socha and come back home, to family. So, and away from the cold, but
that's a big part.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too. So that was good, man. And then now, but really impacting the guys of my community. And that's from down here. And that's when we started this thing. We wanted to build it from the high school up. And no better way to do that with guys that where they come from and you've been where they're, where they're at right now. So that's who I am. I would say, when I say who I am, I want to stay that person. One thing I told our AD is, when you see us play, I want you to know that we have some grit. And that's one thing I always tell the guys, that within that grit, I tell them, hey, we still got to be genuine. We got to be respectful. We got to be innovative. And then, again, we got to also be trustworthy. And that's within that grit. And that's what I'm all about.
here with Myles Russ, new Keiser Football head coach. Again, the defending national champions in NAIA. And Coach Russ has a to-do list now. You've got signing day next week. Got to put together the spring schedule, all of those things. We always hear new head coaches talk about investing in the program, investment in the program, everybody coming together, pulling the rope the same way. You, though, being a part of this program from day number one, that's extremely rare that someone gets to become the head coach at a program that they were integral in creating, literally birthing. So from an investment standpoint, I gotta feel like it's probably a little next level compared to what we usually hear normal coaching talking points when it comes to that word.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one thing that we talked about off the air a little bit, the investment is in our players, and that's what I'm investing in, and that's what my main focus. Obviously, we have signing day next week, and those guys are going to be part of our family. But having these one-on-ones with every player on our team, and that's very important to me. I want to build that relationship in this desk that I'm at now. I had a relationship with those guys already, but not at the head coach position. So just want to kind of see where they're at, where their future may be with us, how they took it. And it starts off with truth and transparency, and I let everything happen right now. This is where we're going to start at. We have to have that foundation in order to move forward. So that's my biggest deal of knowing where my guys are at, knowing where we are at as a program. But the investment is nothing higher. We're going to just continue to work, but just to see how much we have grown. I think it was nobody else that has as invested into this program as myself.
Myles Russ again, head coach, Keiser Football, second coach in Keiser history. Coach Russ from the 561 taking over here in the 561. This has been a program that has largely been built on the 561 from a roster standpoint, natural fit. Sorry, Theo.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, too, you being a guy that's from this area, I know you already told us, you just said it, your first priority is recruiting from within the walls in the locker room and having those one-on-ones with the guys that are on the roster already. What's going to be your approach? And you've already been doing it the past 6 years, but now that you're the head guy, what's going to be your approach to making sure that these kids out here, especially as we see the recruitment from high school to college has been so evolved with the transfer portal stuff and then the COVID year, guys, a lot of that stuff is still changing and evolving. What's going to be your approach to hit the trail and get some of these guys from the 561 and the Treasure Coast to stay home?
And I tell these guys all the time, and it's no disrespect to the recruits, but we love the transfer portal.
Yeah.
We think we can get better high school players. Like a lot of these high school players are getting overlooked because they want to get these somewhat ready-made guys from these other schools. So, that's been part of them, and, to each their own. But this foundation was always built off of high school, and that's not changing. And if guys want to jump in the transfer portal and get those guys, that's fine with us. We're going to get top-tier high school talent, and we're going to continue to develop. And then one thing I think I love about our program is you don't see a lot of our guys leave. If they get opportunities, you may see, one or two. But when we get them, we're still investing in them. We're still taking care of them. And that just shows a lot of what our culture is about and who we are as a program that, once you get here, you're going to finish with the degree. And, you might have other opportunities they may take, but a lot of our guys stay. So that's one thing you're going to get from us, 561 Treasure Coast. We want you. You can look at our roster and, I can say this and that, but look at our roster, just see, when they came to us, and most of it going to come from the high school program.
It looked like a Palm Beach County Treasure Coast All-Star team you go up and down that roster.
That's what we say. So, we always do that, and that's part of our recruiting. That we say, hey, we try to build an all-star team of that Palm Beach County, Broward, Treasure Coast, everywhere with guys that was they lit past. And we're gonna take them. We still going to develop, and we're going to try to win another one.
Coach, I got one for you. I'm right behind you. Sorry, you don't even have to turn your head. You talk about recruiting and the new styles of recruiting. Something so interesting to me.
It's better when Stone's talking to your back anyways. Just trust me. As someone who sees him every day.
You don't want to see this face, Coach.
Yeah.
But like a guy like Wendell Fuller, who makes the jump to FAU, somebody who was so dynamic for you guys, kind of Charles Woodson type. He did a lot for you guys. Is that something that you're using in recruiting now? Like, you can come to us and maybe make that leap? Or is it something that you try to keep these guys in-house, but the father figure type. Like, you want to see these guys succeed. You want to see them help feed their families and whatnot. Is that something you're using now?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not scared of it. Like, we one thing, being here, we talk about, hey, if you have an opportunity, you can go and express it. He did it the right way. He did it. He got his degree, and he ended up going to FAU. And he all of that wasn't no surprise to us, and that's what this is all about, is the communication piece. He wanted to stay. He had some inklings that he wanted to kind of tip his toe in to see what was going on. He did so. We had some schools that just wasn't enough. And, we know some of those guys at FAU, they do a great job, and they looked at them and they called us and we gave him the truth. He's nothing but a great person, great player, but he did it the right way. That's the way we would want, our guys to do it.
Right on.
I think it's the cleanest way. Get your education, graduate, and then you have an opportunity to get one more year and, go that D1 world. That's fine. We're not scared of that. We're very transparent with our guys about that. That's the new age of college football. And I think if you run away from those kind of things, your guy's going to sense that and, leave anyway. So we're going to look right to it. So that's how we're going to take care of those things, part of our program.
Myles Russ, the head coach at Keiser, coached 3 different running backs to all conference honors. Marquise Burgess, Fort Pierce Westwood, 7.72. And he had more all-time rushing yards at Keiser than any other running back from a Florida college. That was what Coach Russ was doing in that running backs room, and now he's the head coach at NAIA national champion Keiser. Couple of quick things here. Let's get down to business real quick. Let me just put you in this hypothetical, okay, Coach? You're sitting at a long NFL table, okay? And you've got Brock Purdy on one side, you've got Tua on the other. This is just hypothetical. You've got to pay both of them today. Who is worth more, Tua or Brock Purdy, just in a vacuum?
So, I don't think it's always a, left-right thing. I think it kind of, what do I have on the defensive side of the ball? Who's my running back? What the offensive line's looking like? Who do I have on the outside? I think that has a lot to do with it. I know that's not the answer you're looking for.
We're going to put you down for Tua.
You got to understand, I kind of deal with those things all the time. I got to see the whole picture. I'm not just, focus on, those two guys. I got to see what my team is looking like. But one thing I can say, those guys do a great job. Brock Purdy, I think, can be one of those just, game managers at times. But if you need him, you got him. And then Tua, I love his game. One thing I kind of go back and forth with him, sometimes he has his highs and he has some lows. And that's, one thing that you kind of got to give or take. So, to answer your question, I'm always going to go hometown. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Good, perfect.
But it's not always that simple.
And then how's your golf game?
It's getting better.
What's your handicap? Yeah.
It's not that good. Okay. I said it's getting better. I didn't say how.
It's always getting better when it's not good.
As in the ball's airborne sometimes when you hit it.
Exactly.
He was hoping you didn't ask a follow-up.
It's getting better.
Exactly.
Like, shut up, Ken. I answered your question already.
He's asking because I've been sharpening my golf game at the Keiser University Golf Coaching Center.
There we go.
Some call me John Smoltz on the because I'm good at pitching.
Okay.
But that's a whole different thing. I don't want to get you into that. I don't want to even get you into those deep waters.
Please don't.
You got to stop dropping that on people other than us because nobody understands.
They don't get it.
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
It's
I think the black lefty is probably
black lefty is also what they call me. Yeah. I'm a lefty. It's like Phil Mickelson.
That's right.
Real short game.
That's good. Yeah. See, that's better than John Smoltz.
Yeah. It's easier to explain, but I like the layers of the John Smoltz thing.
Oh yeah, but boy, it is great having to explain that joke every time that you put it out there. Myles Russ, the head coach at Keiser University. This his true introduction to Palm Beach County, the Treasure Coast. Coach, all kidding aside, congratulations. Super excited for the title defense at Keiser and super excited for you to get your well-deserved head coaching job. Congratulations again, and we'll catch up with you as we get closer to the season, okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
That is Myles Russ again, the second head coach in Keiser football history. Wheel of topics when we come back. That's Theo, that's Stone. I'm Ken LaVicka, Theo and Stone, ESPN 106.3.